sunshine and I'll shit on your parade. Don't get me started on doing Michael Caine. My opinion matters, yours will fall in last place. I'm not shutting up and you'll be learning my name. Fifth in the family, but first in my mind. 1 out of 10, but I'm ranking just fine. We've only got now, there's no afterlife. Look, mom and dad, I'm just speaking my mind. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. Everyone's coming on Kyle tonight. Wait, what? No, nobody's coming on Kyle tonight. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drinks, smoke, or eat and cry. I never shut up, gonna talk till I die. Gonna talk till I die. Everything's coming up Kyle tonight. You can't shut this mouth, but you're welcome to try. I only stop talking to drink, smoke, or eat and cry. I never shut up, gonna talk till I die. 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 Hey, everybody, are we good now?
Yeah, we're
We're
good.
good. I can keep,
You can keep going. Hey.
talking. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, Season 5, Episode 20. I am your host, Kyle Mocha. Thank you, everybody that is joining us in the present, in the future. If you're joining us in the past, we always want to hear from you the most. But thank you for listening, whether you're listening on YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you may get your podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a very special episode today. Not only are we finishing up our album Survey,
Yep.
which has been a long time coming. It's been a very long time for, I know it's technically 8 tracks or whatever, but really it's only 5 that I've had a part on, and it
Right.
feels like we've been working on it for 6
And
months.
technically, I only have parts in 7.
Yes, yeah, there was one that is a solo effort from Zachary, and he'll be joining us in a little bit. He is currently working on finishing up the final song. We lied to you last week. We said that last week's song was going to be the longest. And then this song happened.
Yeah,
At
It's,
some point he turns
it's
around and
a
goes, it's
roller
9.5
coaster
minutes long. And
it's
it
a roller
should really
coaster
be
of
3 different
emotions,
songs.
man.
It's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of story to cover here. So I'm glad that I am joined to cover that whole story and everything else we're going to talk about. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. Justin Olimpado.
Hey, man.
How you doing today, brother?
I'm good up until the fucking...
Oh, the pizza.
Biggie's
Let's
pizza
jump
bullshit,
right into
man.
that, because, sometimes we don't like to talk always about local issues, but we do talk about local things sometimes
I mean,
from
this
time
is
to time.
technically a national issue, maybe.
It
or
is a national issue.
Worldwide issue.
I've had issues with it from a worker standpoint. You try to order us food, and
Yeah, I
in
was
this
like,
day and
I'm getting
age,
hungry,
we've got
I'll order pizza.
Grubhub, we've got DoorDash, we've got Hungry We Deliver, a local company around here.
Yep.
And you went on and you tried to order from a
Well, I went
local
through Grubhub.
pizzeria
I
through
went
Grubhub.
to Biggie's Pizza.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And on there, it had like these weird pizzas, like specialty pizzas.
Yeah. Why wouldn't
And
you
the
go
one-
for the weird thing, you know? Why wouldn't you try to pick something that's new and out there, see if
Right.
they've got like a new thing that can become your favorite? You got to be adventurous when you're
let
ordering
you know
food.
exactly what I was ordering.
Oh, okay. You've got the whole receipt returned to you and all that,
yeah,
right?
and they were really quick and
Yeah,
good with
and Grubhub generally Grubhub and DoorDash, while their customer service, while it's not the greatest in the world, as far as at least for the restaurant side that I've experienced, because I don't really order food off of them too many times,
But as far as the restaurant tour side of things,
Right.
they're usually pretty good. They just want to make their money. At the end of the day, they don't want to piss you off, and they want to make your money. So they're good to to their clients, and they're good to the people that they are selling the food from.
So,
but you found Biggie's Pizza was available through
It was,
Grubhub.
yep.
And we used to not ever get anything delivered up here. You're going to get pizza even from the place right down the road delivered
Capola's
up
would
here.
deliver. That's the only place that would deliver.
Barely. I feel like they if
used
they
to,
had somebody
if they had
there.
a driver, yes.
Yeah, and it's not like an all the time thing. So
No.
we
So
get-
I tried ordering
we
the
get to get
Gambino.
pizza today. I was very excited for pizza.
Yeah, me too, man. I was going to order the Gambino, which on their website says no sauce, extra virgin olive oil, mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, ham, salami, red peppers, onions, banana peppers, Romano cheese, and a pesto swirl.
Ooh, but no
And it was-
sauce. That
no
holds it
sauce.
back a little bit, but the extra virgin olive. Okay, all right.
You know, that's why I was like, you know what?
It's kind of
Try
like
it.
a fully loaded bruschetta or something almost.
Basically.
And regular pie crust, nothing different about the crust itself, right?
just same old
And
shit.
were they advertising this as a personal pan or as like
no,
a
18-inch.
18-incher?
pie.
Okay, sounds pretty damn
For
tasty.
$23.99. So I
Damn.
ordered it, and then the driver gets there and sends me a message and says, "Hey, they don't have the Gambino pie."
Oh wait, I missed this part. The driver was there. The driver
showed up
to get your food. So Biggie's never alerted anything. So
He never
Biggie's,
called me.
Biggie's would have just let it go and try to collect the money.
Basically.
And, oh
so,
my god!
So I asked the driver. I was
Come
like, "Okay,
on.
well, how about the I don't remember.
Yeah,
what the
just
other
like
one-
another equivalently priced
the Lucky
thing. Yeah.
Luciano pie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
was just like, they're like, no,
Lucky
they don't have
Luciano,
that.
hey,
yeah,
boy.
they don't have it. So I'm like, fuck it, let me give them a call. So
Yeah.
I call him, and the guy gets on the phone, and he's like, yeah, we don't have anything that's listed on that site at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, how much is your or how much is a pie? And he's like, $13. I'm like, well, I just paid $24.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's your biggest pie then? And he's like, oh, it's a giant pie, and we don't have
have
any
that.
more dough
Yeah.
for the night, and we close in 15 minutes. And I was like, all right, well, fuck it, like, cancel the order.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
how do I
definitely.
do that?
Yeah,
and he's
cancel
like,
the
you
order.
got to call them and whatever. And I'm like,
So
all
they,
right, whatever.
they gave you great customer service from the get-go. They got your order.
Got my order.
They
Didn't
did not.
notify
They
me.
didn't notify you that they couldn't do your order.
Right.
Not only are they hurting you. I mean, not that we're hurting for food over here,
No.
but they're hurting the customer in the way that they are not getting what they ordered. You've now made a guy spend money
To
of
drive.
gas.
And I had him cancel the
Money
order.
of
He was
gas.
really cool about it. He was like,
Most
all
of the
right,
drivers
cool.
are pretty fucking awesome. That's the one
And he
thing I'll
canceled
give.
it, and
Some
I'll-
of them are dicks, but some of everybody are dicks.
I'll
you
give
know?
Grubhub a lot of credit. They funded the money
That was
back to
pretty
me,
damn
so-
quick, yeah. Now, I've had the problem from the other side of it, working in the restaurant business, having people do this wonderful, it's kind of the new-fashioned dine and dash that they're doing. So basically, somebody ordered pizza, and I might have gone over this already in the past, but somebody ordered a bunch of food from us, chicken tender baskets, everything like that.
Right.
They ordered a shitload of food, and they had it delivered, but they have a special note in their delivery, right? And the special note in their delivery says, please contactless delivery or whatever the alert is.
Right.
And they want you to leave it on their doorstep and text them when it's been delivered.
Right.
And then within a half hour, they call or they go to Grubhub or DoorDash and they say, we never got the food, and they cancel the order. We don't get any money. DoorDash or Grubhub doesn't get any money. And these people are sitting on the food. And when I realized what they were doing is they're literally just using a gift card, like a Visa gift card,
Right.
signing up with a fake account, and using a WhatsApp style fake phone number thing, whatever, so they can get a text message and say thank you, and then go out there, and they're waiting for the driver to leave so that they can go out there and have plausible deniability.
Yeah, 'cause the
that
driver
they
doesn't wait for you to get
You're
food.
not going to sit there all. It's supposed to be contactless. You do your job, you get out of there. So the driver does their part, the restaurant does their part,
Yep,
and
everything's
the
good.
app does their part. But we have people, and now we have somebody that we're pretty sure it's the same person that's pulled it off twice now. It was 2-3 days apart, and it was almost identical orders. And then when you look in the description, they both have the exact same. Please leave it on the doorstep. Give us a text. Blah blah blah.
Right.
So then we got the numbers, and we called the numbers, and all of the numbers are like disconnected or no longer available or anything
Right.
like that.
they're
People
pulling
are
shady
fucked.
shit.
It has been a tough year, guys. It has been a tough year. If you are doing this to mom and pop businesses,
It's fucked
you're a
up.
piece of shit. If you're doing this to any business, you're maybe less of a piece of shit if you're doing it to somebody big, because I'm all about sticking it to the man and all. But a lot of Domino's are like locally owned and everything. It's coming out of somebody's pocket, so don't be a dipshit.
Well, not only that, but I guess you were saying on that you talked to somebody from Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever, and they're like, well, on 3 strikes, then we're going to ban them.
Yeah. They say, basically, we give them 3 strikes on the account. So everybody gets 2 or 3 free rip-me-offs, and then you go, after 3rd one, we strike you from being able to use it.
Publicly announcing that you should rip any business.
You should not do that. You should not do that. But apparently, DoorDash or Grubhub, I forget which one, gives you 3 strikes and then you're out. So they'll trust you 3 times. Yeah. If you're going to do that, do it to like a Cece's Pizza or something real shitty.
Yeah.
Ooh. Little tickle in the back of my throat there. Well, so yeah, that's pretty fucked up. And to kind of continue the train of things that are stupid and fucked up, I found out today that
Michael Demmer says that happened to his friend. He's a DoorDash driver.
Yeah, it's fucked up. You're
shitty,
taking money out of people's pockets.
Especially the driver and businesses.
The driver's an independent contractor. They have no protection.
And businesses, I understand there's an overhead. They have to pay their employees, equipment breaks, all that shit.
Yeah.
But when you're a driver, you're literally using your equipment.
Yep, it's your car.
And it's constantly getting eroded.
Yep, and it is just, especially this time of year, you're just driving on top of salt everywhere.
Yep.
No, it's really fucked up. But the other thing that's kind of fucked up in a funny way is we're at war right now, Justin.
We are?
I don't know if you knew this, but our generation, us millennials, because we are the millennials.
We are.
I've always stood by being a willennial, but I'm going to just say for the sake of argument and to make it easier.
Before you go on, I have an actual joke
about
Will Smith.
So, a Will Smith joke?
How do you find Will Smith in a snowstorm?
How do you find Will Smith in a snowstorm? I don't know. How do you?
You look for Fresh Prince.
Are you reading that off of something? Did it literally
was a
just
meme that
pop
popped up somewhere.
Just happens to be there?
I found it earlier.
You're crazy, man. You're a crazy man. Well, we are millennials, if not millennials. And we are currently we're at war with the Gen Zers, apparently.
Oh, yeah? What are we
all
at
over
war
TikTok. They don't like our fashion.
TikTok.
Yeah, on TikTok.
Here's the thing. I don't use TikTok.
Me neither. I have a TikTok, but I don't know how to log back into. I'm an old man, so I don't know how to log back into my original account that had a couple hundred and a couple videos had a couple thousand hits.
Yeah.
So I went to go log in and just made me another one, and it was just like, here you go, boomer. And I went, no, I was 86, man. I'm not a boomer. I'm a millennial/willennial. But yeah, so I don't really use TikTok that much, but apparently they're going after us for wearing skinny jeans.
Okay.
And doing side parts in our hair. Somebody that commented on the whole debacle made this comment, and I forget who they were, but I agree with them. We might have mocked somebody for wearing out-of-date clothes or something along those lines, like, oh, check out this guy in the greaser outfit, 50 years too late.
Yeah.
But we didn't turn around and tell, as a generation as a whole, look at the Gen Xers before us and go, hey, what the hell's up with that right down the middle part you're doing right here? What's up with that feathered hair you got going on?
I mean, I give them 10 more years before that's the next cool thing with skinny jeans. The parted hair and skinny jeans and the big fluffy fucking sweaters.
But they're attacking us for those things, and then you look at the fashion of today, and the fashion of today is just everything is okay all of the time, which is cool. I like that.
Sure.
But you're wearing these giant old man, fat man pants for a 120-pound girl and a giant fucking hoodie, the whole Billie Eilish look, which do whatever you want. I'm not going to shit talk what you're wearing necessarily until you start shit talking what we're wearing. But also, I don't wear skinny jeans. I have one pair of straight jeans,
right? And
I do a side part. So I'm sometimes very offended by this, but other times I just have a hat on, so it really doesn't matter. But I gotta say, Gen Zers, you're ridiculous, because all of the fashion that you are taking now, all the fashion you're making your own, is just our shit we threw out 10 years ago.
Sure.
Just the way that our shit was our parents' shit that they threw out 10 years ago. There's a reason that in the late 90s, early 2000s, everybody was all about the 70s. It's because somebody only had their mom's bell bottoms at one point, and they knew how to fucking work it, and they made it work.
Yep.
They made it work. But Jesus Christ, before I go off on more TikTok people, what do we got going on in the chat over there, Justin?
We got Zachary Storman saying, I used to wear pants tight enough to kill me.
Mm-hmm. He literally was wearing underwear. He admitted that on the show. He was wearing underwear that was cutting off his circulation at one point.
That's true.
But he also wore tights, a lot of tights.
Yeah. We got Joe in chat said they also attack us for wine.
Wine?
And that
For
he
like
demands
liking wine? What the hell? I love wine. Fuck
he
you.
said he also demands that he be on the show again, sir.
Yes, we definitely
Miss
in the weeks coming up. I've been slacking on that, Joey. I apologize. We'll be getting you on soon. He's got, while he's here, we should just give a big shout out. Go check out. I'm assuming it's Joey Broken Toe.
Yes,
Mr. Broken Toe Joe. Go check him out. He has now officially moved all of his streaming from Twitch to YouTube. So Broken Toe Joe, you can find him on Instagram. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him in the chat right here now where you should be listening live. Yes. Any other interesting, anybody else joining in there? I know you said we got a Mikey, we got a Joe.
Yeah, Zach.
All right, cool.
Got a couple.
You had an issue to continue on the Gen Zers thing,
to
continue punching down at the shitheads below us.
Man, I've commented a bunch about how Twitch allowed streamers, and it's starting to get to the point where streamers can't use copywritten music or other things in their background.
Jesus.
Because it's illegal to
Did Lars just not know about Twitch? Did he just not know, so he didn't know to go attack them with everybody?
What?
What? I don't Twitch, you Twitch. He's just sitting there shaking. He's like, no, I just got a beat in my soul and I can't stop moving.
I stumbled upon a channel and they were playing copyrighted music, and I was just trying to talk to the person, like, hey, you could get in a lot
How
of shit.
How old about do you think this kid was?
Probably 20.
20. All right. So
22.
Of age that he will be getting legal recourse. Because if you're streaming and you're 14, are you still like signing up? Like your parent has to sign up for you or something?
Yes, technically that's the case.
So somebody is at legal responsibility for you. Okay. All right. Binding it legally. All right. So about a 20-year-old kid playing some copywritten music, and you just want to have a conversation.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, man, just going over rules and whatnot. Like, hey, if you're trying to do this as a thing, like if you're trying to actually jump in and do this as a career thing, or at least give it a shot, whatever, you can't use copywritten music. Lo and behold, I'm wrong.
You are wrong.
Way wrong.
Copywritten music, from what you told me, according to this kid,
is free when you put it out.
Yeah, the second you make it, it's
nobody
free.
owns
That's
it.
why you're allowed to go into the Louvre and just take artwork off the walls and walk out with it, because you already made it. It's done. It's not yours no more. All right, it ain't yours.
Yeah, nobody
more.
owns it. There's no copyrights to it. Whatever. And that if you're playing it behind you, you're being transformative to the music.
Because you're talking over it or clicking a button,
and I was
or
just
somehow
like, well,
you're adulterating it.
No, you're still listening to that song that's playing in the background, and it's enhancing your stream.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yep. It is making a better quality product for you out of nothing you did other than hitting play on a fucking button.
Right. So he decided he was going to prove it to me, and he's like, if it wasn't illegal to do, how come you can go to a school and they can do any cover that they want?
Yeah,
and I tried to explain to this person that
nonprofit organization.
Nonprofit, but it doesn't matter if you're going to see an artist.
Yeah.
In fair use,
if I
you
go
can
pay
cover.
to see fucking Rage Against the Machine, and Rage Against the Machine covers Johnny Cash, they don't have to pay Johnny Cash. Nope. You went to see Rage, they just happen to play a Johnny Cash song.
That's it.
Has Rage ever played
And then they
Johnny
banned
Cash
me from
song?
their room, and that was it, man. So
and then you did check back later, because you can still look at it.
You can still look at it.
And this kid had banned you. You can't chat, but he had stopped using.
He stopped using music.
Somebody got to him.
Yeah.
Somebody got to him. Mm-hmm. Speaking of somebody getting to people, we are now getting people in here, getting person in here. We have one person. He's waiting to pop it, so I'm going to stall as long as I can. We have Mr. Zachary Storman. Ooh, that was a nice solid pop right there. Yeah. 2 weeks in a row, we're going with bottles. We realized that we've been doing everything in the can.
We're fancy now.
And now we're going bottles.
Welcome to being fancy.
Ooh, bottles. All right. But Zach just popped open a beer, which means we have to start drinking some shit and talking about it and rating it. So, Justin, hit it.
We drink it so you don't have to. Review it in the morning from the bathroom. Cheap booze and craft brews. Review it in the morning from the bathroom. Why do we drink it? Why do we drink it? Yeah!
So real quick before we get into what we're
what we're
drinking,
drinking. Yeah. What we got?
Joe is reiterating that Twitch, BlizzCon was being streamed on Twitch, which BlizzCon is
Is this
Blizzard's.
the Metallica thing?
Yeah, BlizzCon is Blizzard's big convention.
Okay.
And because of COVID, they're doing it online for free for everybody. And they got
Such a
Metallica.
shame.
They got Metallica.
Such a
to
shame
play.
all those gamers have to stay indoors where they're comfortable and used to being. I can't imagine that in person it was that great. It was just a bunch of kids hoping that they had the Wally hover chair so they didn't have to get the fuck up.
Yeah,
Becoming an old curmudgeon on this
I'm
episode.
sure it was a weird convention.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got to see the Offspring, you know.
Kids
they got
love the Offspring.
a bunch of bands, but Metallica was playing for this event, and because it was being streamed on Twitch, like he said, they DMCA'd themselves and played like electronic music over them, but kept the video feed.
Video of Metallica playing. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah, that's partially Metallica's fault. All that shit is from Metallica when they shut down Napster.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's true.
Yep. I love that it's coming for fur sickle. It's a fur sickle.
Oh, it's like an icicle made out of hair.
Out of hair. It's like cleaning up a barbershop in the middle of January. It's a fur sickle.
We also got what's up, Zach, from Mikey Demmer.
Oh,
Hey, Mikey, how you doing, brother?
Well. We also have some beverages that we're going to be tasting right now. We are doing our rankings this season. We're ranking beers on a scale of 0 to 10. Sorry, 0 to 100. I don't know why I just said 10. 0 to 100.
What the
and
fuck, man?
we are
This
trying to
show's done.
go through beers that are standard drinking beers for somebody. We've gone through all the lights that we can really find.
Yeah.
We almost went Michelob Light this week, Michelob Ultra, but instead we switched it up because in about 2 months, I'm not going to want to even touch something this dark.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be all about light beers, seltzers, and mixed drinks. So we are trying the traditional Samuel Adams Boston Lager. Now, as they say, it is distinctively complex and balanced. And they're saying cheers to you. Now, they have been making a big push this year to really hone in the fact that they're from Boston. I guess people forgot about it.
Yeah.
But we all know that none of the beer, even this beer, this isn't made in Boston anymore. This is from fucking Allentown or somewhere else.
Allentown?
Yeah, there's a brewery, I think, in Allentown, Scranton, somewhere
I heard
kind
that,
of local.
city in a song once.
Allentown. Yeah, Brainingsville, Pennsylvania. That's what it is. Briningsville.
Boston, Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and Briningsville.
Yeah, Briningsville. So this is, just so you know, this is best drink by April 2021. So we're on top of that. But we have, Boston Lager kind of, when you first start going to the bar, you think this is fancy, right?
Yeah.
You think you're getting something that's
I mean,
American.
you're paying for that thought.
And
That's
you
for
are
shit
definitely
too.
paying at least $5 at a Ruby Tuesday for this motherfucker right here.
I mean, a 12-pack
And
was like 22
I've
bucks.
never hated this beer. I've never drank it exclusively, but every time I've had it, I've been like, yeah, it's a Boston Lager. I like it better than most everything from Sam Adams, except
Right.
for their really high-octane, fun, weird shit that they put out once in a while. This is, in my memory, probably not having had it in over a year, probably at least over a year, I think I like this, and I think I like this more than I like Yingling, but I can't drink it as much. So I'm gonna give it a sip. Justin, what's your personal experience with Boston Lager?
I've
Do you
bought it a
remember?
few times.
Do you remember
They're-
the first time you got it? Because you were in 1972 when you first turned 21 or whatever it was. They weren't even a company then. They came out in around the 80s when you were about 49. So you've been able to watch them through their entire expansion. Also, it's just a 5%er. 30 IBUs, so it's not gonna be crazy. So, what's your personal experience with Boston Lager?
I never
and why
really
did you
liked
choose
it.
this one?
I never really liked it, but I'm actually enjoying this one. I don't know if it's
It's got some
if they
sweetness,
changed
man.
the way that they brewed it, or I'm just remembering it wrong. But maybe it was a hot day and it was the wrong beer. I don't know.
Definitely not
I don't
a
go and buy
hot day beer. Not a beer that you reach for after mowing the lawn or just standing outside. If I'm going to be outside and you've got this, I'm probably not going to enjoy it. I do remember my buddy Skip got married and they had a keg of Sam Adams. It was middle of July. And they had Sam Adams and they had Yingling. And I just remember being like, this is like milk is a bad choice situation right here.
Right.
Zach, have you ever been a big Boston Lager fan?
Nope.
Have you ever had friends that this has been their go-to beer? I don't think this is anybody's go-to beer.
I honestly don't believe I've ever had this.
Really?
Not in a
draft at yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I've never, as far as I know, I've never purchased a case of Sam Adams. Now I've had enough of the cherry wheat.
Yes.
I've had a lot of the cherry wheat at Floods. Actually.
Yep.
Cherry wheat was always looked at like back in the day, and in the sexist world we've grown up in, was like, oh, you got a girlfriend, she wants a beer, just get her the cherry wheat. And it's like, no, you got somebody that likes to drink things that doesn't taste like beer, get them the cherry wheat. And that's what I've always liked about most of the things they've done. Boston Lager out of a bottle, I think it tastes better than it does on tap. I'll agree with that. It's been for forever since I've had it on tap. But the thing that sucks is the first sip, I think that I'm about to get like Magic Hat level flavor. Like this
probably.
has the initial taste of number 9.
It lets you down then.
Or a Weyerbacher or something like that, where you're going to get that initial flavor and then a punch in the back of the throat with something good and strong in the back of your throat, just the way you like it, you know? I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I don't know how we're going to feel after it being our sipping beer tonight. Also, because our other beer, it might be a little heavy. So, Justin, scale as 0 to 100 for a lager, for an American lager, for a Boston lager.
I'm going to go with a 60.
60?
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit higher than that. I'm going to give this guy a 71. I'm going to give it a 71 because for a lager, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
If you tell me it's a microbrew, it goes down to a 50.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we're grading it as a microbrew, which I don't think they can qualify for anymore, but I'll throw a 71 at them. A 71 at this. Zach, what are you thinking on this guy?
50.
50?
Not offended. Not impressed.
All right.
How many of these, besides a night like tonight where I've just put 5 of them in front of you, how many of these would you opt to drink in a row after what you've already consumed? Would you kind of just be one and done on it, switch to something else?
Yep.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I do feel the same way. So we'll see how the rest of this night goes, because we're going to be switching it up right now. With our second beer of the evening, we have the Founders Brewing. I always love Founders. Marvel Roast. It is an Imperial Golden Ale with coffee, cocoa nibs, vanilla, and milk sugar, and it is a hefty 8%.
Smell it as soon as you open it. I think it's the best smelling beer I've ever had.
What is a cocoa nib?
I don't know I've heard the word nib in cooking terms, in like ingredients terms. I don't know if that's just like
an unfinished like process.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Just like you pop it right off the cocoa plant.
The smell of this beer
Oh
is
my
really
god.
Good. I'm actually really excited.
Oh, okay. So I'm definitely getting the cocoa and the vanilla.
Yep.
The milk
Probably
sugars.
the milk,
Every
probably.
beer that has said milk sugar on it, I have thoroughly enjoyed. At least the sweetness of it. But I'm hoping the coffee isn't too overpowerful. But again, an Imperial Golden Ale with coffee, cocoa nibs, vanilla, and milk sugar. You guys already take a sip. What are you thinking on this?
I sort of like it, but it also sort of reminds me of the smell of a cigar room.
Ooh,
like how a cigar
I would smoke
room,
a cigar with this.
Yes, you probably should smoke a cigar.
Yeah, this is like, honestly, not even a cigar. I want to be smoking a Marlboro 27, sipping on this. It's got a little bit, or the Southern Cut.
The Southern Cut, yeah.
Oh, it's got a little bit of like, kind of like a higher end tobacco flavor infused into it. I also kind of feel like I'm vaping a drink right now. It's got like in your face vape amount of flavor. I feel like I've made this vape juice before.
Maybe.
Coffee, cocoa, vanilla, milk sugar. I don't know if they put milk sugar in any of it. I
don't even know what milk sugar is.
I think it's sugar derived from milk.
A lot of milk sugar drinks.
A lot of them.
You know
Yeah, let's find out what milk sugar is. What does it taste like to you?
It tastes like if that coffee PBR was actually good. A good drink.
Oh. Yeah.
All milk sugar is lactose.
Oh, just lactose. Oh, so when they say milk sugar or lactose, you're just picking a fucking semantics and sticking with it. I'll say
lactose intolerant.
I do not think I would be able to get through more than like one or two of these.
Yeah,
This is
I think this is
it's
after
supposed to be
dinner.
a slow sipper after dinner. This is a
Cigar,
great
cigarette,
dessert
whatever.
cigar. Yes, exactly. I think that you have this with a creme brulee. It'd be
yeah.
amazing.
Oh God,
That
I
would
could
be
go
perfect.
For a creme
Hell
brulee.
yeah.
Who couldn't go for a creme with some flan?
A little bit of crack.
Oh, you
Some
know,
flan? That'd be great. We're just getting extra mad at that goddamn Grubhub situation for not
fuck?
bringing us food. We could have ordered flan from anywhere, but we went to you, biggies.
Yeah.
All right, Marvel Roast, for it being a golden ale and having all the other ingredients listed in
it's
there.
not
Imperial
striking
golden
me as
ale.
too golden.
It's not too golden, and it's an imperial. You're right. So it should
it's
be
8%.
more. It's 8%. I feel like an imperial to me is at least 8%, so it's on the lower end for an
Sure,
imperial.
sure.
I don't know what the correct rulings there are, but for something with coffee, I'll just go off that. Something that is an ale with coffee. This is probably one of the best coffee ales
Yeah.
I've ever had. For that, I gotta give it a good rating, but not a crazy high rating. So I'm gonna stick in that D plus range. I'm gonna go with the 68.5 on this guy. I like it. The burp tastes amazing.
Yep.
I was gonna say at first the burp is coming out strong, but it just tasted really good, so I'm all right with that burp. I'm totally down with that burp. I feel like we might have done ourselves in with the combination of beverages. This is
Maybe.
a little bit of a
Heavy and
heavy
heavy.
night.
Yeah.
Oh, we
And I
heavy
started
night.
this afternoon rather gassy.
Yes, you did. Oh,
got
it's
a
gonna be
bomb in
a
my
lot of mouth
stomach.
noises and
Oh.
Putin for you guys tonight. But yeah, 68.5 for me. Zach, what are you thinking on this guy? Do you enjoy it? Do you think it's something you would ever reach for again if you saw Marvel Roast? 74. All right,
I
that
like
answers
it. I
all of
do
my
like it.
questions. Wonderful.
So this beer is what I thought when I first had a stout or a what's
Porter?
that? Yeah,
Porter?
or a
Yeah,
porter. Like that's where I thought the flavor would be. Sweet,
Okay.
dark.
Kind of like we were saying last week about the one beer, how that's what you thought Guinness was going to be like.
Basically.
When people say Guinness has hints of coffee or anything like that, you definitely think it's going to be more like this.
Right.
And this is very syrupy, you know, it's very syrupy in that way. I do like that.
Scissor.
I'm gonna
Scissor.
go with 72 on
72. Hell yeah. All right. I like it. We'll see how we like it at the end of the night when we're slowly trudging through all this shit. We do have a featured artist. I forget. Do we talk about him at the top of the show? I feel like we might have.
don't believe
I
we-
feel like we fucked up and
We
didn't
did
say
not.
anything
We
about
got
it at
into
the top of the
other
show.
things. We got into biggies.
We
you
got into,
motherfuckers.
oh, you motherfuckers. We have a featured artist tonight, Billy Liar. He is from Scotland. We're going to be playing
L-I or L-Y?
Liar. Billy.
Oh, Billy the Liar.
Billy the Liar. Yeah.
Are you sure these are his songs?
I don't know, but he is a friend of a friend. So this is I was
okay.
told by Steve-O and Jen that we need to get this guy on. I hit him up and he said, I would love to have you feature some of my music and maybe down the road. Basically, let's build the relationship and then we can get him working on like coming on, because it is the UK, so it is like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when we start over here. Not all of them are vampire like Tim Holhouse and stay up till all the wee hours of the morning. But Billy Liar is somebody I've heard about before knowing that Jen and Steve-O knew him, and just kind of like would see him on like flyers for things or other bands would post things. And he calls himself the Scottish sad boy, which I can relate to, not being necessarily Scottish, but being a sad boy most of my life. And I hit him up. We had a fun little back and forth, and he sent me a couple of songs with a bunch of information about him that I want to give to you guys. So what you're going to be seeing for the first song, Justin, just so you know, we're going with The Righteous and the Rats as the first single there. Again, The Righteous and the Rats, it is a lyric video, and it's the lead track from his latest record, Some Legacy, which was released by Red Scare Industries. The album was produced by Joe McMahon from Smoke or Fire, and the video is made by Danger Kill Productions. I want to point out that he does have an online store that is exclusively for the United States. His U.S. merch store where you can buy vinyl, CDs, copies of his records, awesome hoodies, t-shirts, sunglasses, back patches, koozies, enamel pins, and more is stupidradmerch.com/Billy Liar, which makes me kind of want to go check out that merch company for ourselves. Anytime someone has a merch company that they sell through that I've never heard of and they're slightly successful, I go, Must be something about that. All right.
Yeah.
You're not just doing Shopify or whatever. And if you like what you hear from Billy, you can go check him out at Official Billy Liar on Facebook, on Instagram. He's all over all of the platforms that you can find your music and music videos on. I guess we can just jump right into playing this single. Again, this is going to be The Righteous and the Rats, the first of 2 songs from Billy Liar that we're going to be playing for you tonight. Enjoy. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes.
Or at least I've seen him around. He said, do you know any songs we all can sing? Do you know any songs, the kind that mean something? Do you know any protest songs, the kind that we can sing along? He said, listen lads, time waits for no man. You got to make it known what side of the fence you're standing on. When the world began, there were no borders. No one chooses where they're born. Do you know any protest songs, the kind that we can sing along? It's getting harder. It's getting harder to tell the righteous from the rats. We'll get older, but we'll still die trying to tell the righteous from the rats. It's getting harder. It's getting harder to tell the righteous from the rats. We're getting older, but we'll still die trying to tell the righteous from the rats. And there's nothing right with that.
All right, guys, there you have it again. That is The Righteous and the Rats, the lead single off of Some Legacy from Billy Liar. Zach, you made a good connection there. It sounded like Early Against Me. It
Yeah.
had that kind of like Pints of Guinness Makes You Strong.
Yeah,
it had
that's my
that.
shit,
I
dude.
love that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Now, I am somebody who proudly loves all of Against Me. I think I like Against Me more as Laura Jane Grace. I think his voice, when he became her, got better. And it is a prettier voice, and I like the pop angle of things. I still think they should have been 2 different bands. Because Early Against Me, that, like, if they were playing a show with Early Against Me, that would have been the nicest show you could have possibly gone to. And if they were playing with Current Against Me, it'd still be a good show. Still be a good show.
I stopped listening after
Transgender Dysphoria Blues.
no, before that.
Before that?
New Wave.
New Wave. Ooh.
sucked, dude.
Ooh, see.
See,
New
I
Wave.
love before that. What's the song? What's the album? Searching for a Former Clarity.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that?
And the first album was
the-
Reinventing Axl Rose, right?
Yeah, well, the
Okay,
first
yeah.
EP is Crime.
Okay, Crime.
And that's
yeah.
and then Reinventing Axl Rose. Then what's the cowboy one?
I don't know. All I know.
And then Searching for a Former Clarity.
And then New Wave, I do
New
remember
Wave
not
was
being super
where I
big
fell
fan
off.
of New Wave, but Transgender Dysphoria Blues, go back and check it out because it's a fucking hell of a
I'll
record.
be honest, I didn't give that the time of day, not because of the transgender thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because I did
They
not.
weren't the band you
They
liked
weren't
anymore.
the band I liked
exactly.
anymore.
And that happens
regardless
with
of
bands.
what she did.
Yeah,
You know?
that happens with bands. Yeah, no matter what they go through in life, love, whatever.
I remember Matt was
but-
obsessed with that jersey. He was
Oh,
obsessed
yeah,
with,
yeah.
with that album specifically.
I mean, I heard it here and there, but I
Yeah.
never really.
I definitely say go back and
digested
check it out. But either way, to go back to Billy Liar, he does have that classic I'm in a basement in Philly band.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it makes sense that I found out of them probably through Spotify, liking like the Menzingers and bands like that, but then found through Steve-O and Jen that the
Right,
guy was a really awesome and approachable guy. Because it sounds like something like he grew up listening to things like Against Me, probably listening, like I said, the Holy Mess, things along those lines. He is a punk rock. I don't want to say I was going to say truest, but truest isn't really the word to say there. It's not even a word, I don't think. The most truest sounding punk rock. He is a just an old punk rock feeling to him.
Yeah.
And that song just has, and the line says it in the song, basically, do you know any songs that we can all sing along to?
Right.
And that is a song that you can fucking
For sure.
sing along to. Now, the second video that we're going to be playing is for The View From Here, also off of Some Legacy. This was their 4th single, and just so you know, the video itself was filmed almost entirely in one take in London by a gentleman named Mark Richards. I don't know Mark Richards, but we're going to give him credit there. So almost one take, this video. So without any more delay and us going off on rants about other bands while we're talking about this band, sorry, when you sound like somebody we love, we're going to talk about somebody we love. Let's check it out. Here is The View From Here, again off of Some Legacy, Billy Liar. Enjoy.
All my failings have been exposed. I'm waking up in onward clothes, and I don't like the view from here. All my friends are fucking up. We're falling down, not getting up. We swore we'd never fall in love. We're falling in love. I wasted nights and you wasted days. Tore off our lives and we threw them away. Tried to call me up, but I had no words to say. I turned up by your door, but there was nothing left to say. I always end up the same old way. This crippling fear, anxiety, paranoia creeps around the corner of each and every day. When all the intimacy don't fade away, there'll be no words left to say. When all the intimacy don't fade away, there'll be no words left to say. When all the intimacy don't fade away, there'll be no words left to say. When all the intimacy don't fade away. Wasted nights and wasted days. Tore off our letters and we threw them away. Tried to call me up, I had no words to say. I turned up at your door, but there was nothing left to say. There were no words left to say. There were no words left to say. There were no words left to say.
All right, guys, again, there you have it. Once again, Billy Liar, The View From Here. Zach, you keep saying it perfectly while we're listening to him. That sounds like a punk rock Bright A's. Bright A's.
Bright A's?
Bright Eye. I was
Bright
going
Eyes.
to good Scottish on that. Bright A's.
Bright-
Bright A's.
Bright Eyes.
Sounds like a Scottish
Punk rock,
punk
Bright
Bright A's. Yeah, like it. I used to do a thing that our buddy and longtime guest on the show, James O, thoroughly enjoys me doing. I haven't done it in years, but I used to do a thing where I would just play the Bright Eyes song, and you just pick up an acoustic
Bright Eyes
guitar.
song?
The Bright Eyes song. That's just all it was. I just played the Bright Eyes song, and you say it like Fridays, but with a B. Bright Eyes.
Bright Eyes.
And it was me just pretty much going like G, C, D in that order, fast, repeated over and over again, and I would just
Yelping.
rhyme a lot of words with themselves to be like, well, I stood right here looking at right over there, and I'm looking in the mirror going, what am I doing here? And the mirror says I'm queer, and I don't know why I'm here, and I'm there, and I'm there, and I'm there. Ah! And just go on and on and on. That sounded like a better version of what I used to jokingly do all of the time.
I like Bright Eyes.
I love Bright Eyes. I love Bright Eyes and Bright Eyes. I love
Fridays?
Thank God it's Bright Eyes. TJIB, bro. We're gonna change that whole restaurant. Thank God it's Bright Eyes. You go there, it's just real sad
Yeah,
waitresses.
the only thing you can order is cigarettes.
Cigarettes and coffee black. Cigarettes, coffee black, PBR, and probably some hams. They probably got some hams in there. But yeah, no, he just encompasses a lot of the punk rock feel. He's got a lot of influence that he's pulling from. I thoroughly enjoy everything I've heard off this album. I highly recommend going and check out everything else he has. Again, Billy Liar, you can find him wherever you stream your music, at official Billy Liar. And again, if you'd like to go buy some merch from them, you can go over to their merch website for the United States, which is, that was gonna be a burp, that might be a puke, stupidradmerch.com/Billy Liar, and BillyLiarMusic.com. You can pretty much find everything from there.
Right.
Anything else you guys want to add about his music? Because I do have something that I forgot to mention before that I want to kind of go into.
We got a comment from Mike Demmer saying
Yeah.
that was fucking rad.
It is. It's fucking awesome, and I can't wait for the world to open back up because he'll definitely be one of the people that first jumps on touring. I would love to get like a him and Tim Holhouse out here and just have a
That'd be
nice,
awesome.
fun basement show and just do it up the way that we used to be able to do it back in the day, you know?
I feel like the
back
bands
in
that you've been
20.
picking lately
Yeah.
to be on the show
Yeah.
are ones that we have a high likelihood of maybe getting over in Steve-O's basement.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I am basically trying to build a basement bar review show where 8 people are going to be able to be privy to it outside of us.
If
because
people are traveling from all
all over
world.
for 8 of us to play.
Well, it's like NPR Tiny Desk concerts, except for it's
Yeah.
Tiny Bar concerts.
Tiny bar
see?
concerts. We
Oh,
could
that's a
totally
good
start
idea.
that series.
Yeah.
Steve-O, Jen, I know you're listening and you don't know how to communicate
Tiny bar series.
because you still haven't figured out how to work your Roku and your phone together at the same time so you can be chatting along with us, and you're just sitting in the basement bar right now going, God damn it! Or you're not listening at all and you just lie to us and say you're listening.
Yeah.
One of the two.
What's the deal with that?
What's the deal with that, huh? What are you guys? What are you lying to us? What are you lying?
What are you, a bunch of Billy Liars?
You a
over
bunch
here?
of Billy Liars over there? Billy Liars.
That's like a goat that just
Yeah.
tells you lies.
I'm a sheep.
I saw a leprechaun over there.
Over there.
I don't believe that fucking goat anymore.
I don't believe that Billy Goat's Bluff. Ooh.
Blind
New
Billy
album.
Goat's Bluff.
Blind Billy Goat's Bluff. It's wouldn't that just be where you push goats over a fucking hill? Just just go. Just keep going. Just keep
Or do
going.
the seeing goats push the blind goats?
Ooh, the racist goats against sight. They're sightist ghosts.
They are.
Is that what you would call it?
A
Sightist
sightist?
ghosts?
Sightist?
Yeah, like if you hate people that are
You
older than
hate the
you,
blind?
you're ageist. Yeah, blindest. I mean,
God
blindest
damn
sounds.
you,
Sightist
blindest.
just sounds more like it's got more cunt and cock and
Sightist.
fuck behind it. You know, it's
Yeah,
got more.
same.
You're a sightist. Yeah. Ooh, if you go German on it,
Ugh.
sightist.
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 Yeah, that sounds even more racist.
That's very racist. That is very racist.
Tonight on the
Checking
show,
the
we make
dictionary.
racist terms out of things that aren't racist.
So I did want to bring this up. We started talking about it upstairs a little bit. There is some murmuring going on with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which right off the bat we can just say the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like all Hall of Fames, is just a bullshit award that people give themselves and people give each other, or you can pay to get it, or
sure
just a
you
bunch
can,
of
man.
critics, just fucking give it to you. So you can't really put too much weight in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But if you are a band that is nominated or potentially eligible to be nominated, you get to, I don't know if you do it or somebody else does it, they get to write up who is the eligible nominees.
Right.
So if you said the Beatles, when they went in, obviously there were 4 people nominated in the Beatles and 4 people got in. If you said the Traveling Wilburys, you would have the 5 guys that did that, and all of them would get in. But
Has there ever been an instance where it's only been one person nominated for
from
a
an
full band?
entire band, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know
some
if that's
people are
happened.
in, I believe, is it Tina Turner's in twice? She's in once for her.
And Ike and Tina.
And then once for her.
That makes sense to me. I totally get
But
that.
I mean, like Axl Rose for Just Guns.
no, they would
You know
put
what
the
I mean?
whole band in there. I don't think that's ever happened where they've been, like the Doobie Brothers and it's only one brother going through. I don't think that's ever happened. But what we are dealing with right now is that you've got a little bit of discrepancy over who should and shouldn't be listed on the potential nominees.
Right.
And the main focus of this issue right now is Iron Maiden. So Iron Maiden is famously a metal band that famously introduced a lot of straight people to the gay culture without them knowing about it.
You're wrong.
No?
That's Judas Priest.
That's Judas Priest. I'm
Priest,
thinking the other one. Iron Maiden, wait, what am I thinking Iron Maiden? No, wait, what did Iron Maiden introduce from the gay community? Anything? Nothing?
No.
I don't fucking care about Iron Maiden.
No! Rob Halford was
Halford.
the gay one.
You know how many
the
times
leather.
I've done this in my life? I've confused those two bands,
You look
Judas
like an
Priest
idiot
and
right
Iron
now.
Maiden. All of the time I look like an idiot. Have you met me? I look like an idiot constantly.
No, Maiden's big thing is Eddie, the
Eddie, yeah.
skeleton.
Yeah. Okay, see, I just put him in
Which
in
obviously
leather.
Megadeth
Not
ripped off.
The leather.
With
Yeah.
Vic.
So none of them wear leather,
Well, I'm sure they wear leather.
and none of them are gay.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to go find out. I'll be back. But either way, so I'll digress from that. I'm less interested in this topic immediately because it's not Judas Priest, and I cannot ever separate Iron Maiden and Judas Priest for whatever reason in my head. But either way, Bruce Dickinson, right? That is, I have that name correct, right?
Bruce Dickinson is the second singer
Yes.
from Iron Maiden.
And the original singer...
The famous one.
The famous one. The original singer, if I'm not mistaken, is Paul Di'Anno, right?
Di'Anno.
So all of those guys are included in the nomination for Iron Maiden.
Steve Harris, the bass player,
Yes.
is like the brains
Okay.
of the operation.
Okay. Now, the guy who was their lead singer from 1994 to 1998, Blaze Bayley, which is the worst name ever because he spells Bailey Bayley. It just looks stupid. It might be a little up in arms right now because he is not included in the nomination. All right. So I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know if you're gonna believe me. Don't really listen to Iron Maiden that much.
Obviously.
Oh well, or Judas Priest. I just appreciate Judas Priest for what they did to the culture. Zach, being somebody that knows Iron Maiden, that listens to Iron Maiden, what do you think about the band excluding, or whoever excluding Blaze Bayley? Do you think he would deserve?
I can't all the top of my head name a fucking album or song that came out in the 90s from Iron Maiden.
Right.
That's like the fucking really not good Iron Maiden.
I thought that the latest album though that they put out was decent.
Dickinson rejoined in '98. Like that was
Yeah.
that guy literally was just
in
them
those few albums.
They're one of
needing
those
somebody for
bands
4 or 5
that
years.
go out on stage no matter what album just came out. They just go out and play the hits.
Yeah,
They're,
for sure.
I can't. I don't know. I only know the hits from Maiden because the problem and the difference than Judas Priest, even I still love the bad Judas Priest.
Sure.
I love Turbo Lover. It's so fucking stupid and bad, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
But the bad Maiden is just like they've got like fucking.
Is it derivative of themselves, or
Yeah,
did they just
'cause
go to
they're
the
the
wrong
only
genre?
band that sounds like that.
Okay.
But they just go on for fucking 12 minutes.
Well, yeah. What kind of asshole writes 12-minute songs?
I know. But they
Jesus.
just go on and on about shit, and it's just sometimes it's just like.
Yeah.
So whoever that guy was, until today I never even heard of that guy.
Yeah. I had
Because
never heard
no
of him
one-
until I saw this article. Yeah.
No, you're just listening to Maiden is a band. You just listen to the hits.
Yeah. Makes sense. So, with going from there on that, do you think that a band that is nominated to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, do you think, well, basically, who do you think is eligible? Do you have to be a member on one of the big albums? Do you have to be a founding member? Because, like, obviously you're not going to, I mean, they're already in, but you're not going to bring Queen in and get, what's his name that's singing for Queen now, nominated.
Adam Lambert.
Yeah, Adam
for
Lambert.
sure.
He hasn't been there. Do you apply the 25-year rule to that person? Like, how do you handle
I think if
Maybe
it's an
20
impact on the band in that way, in
Like a
25
positive
years,
impact,
then
yeah.
sure. Like
Yeah.
if it's something to continue the career or write new things, and
Yeah.
it's just as good and driving as the original
and had
was.
some cultural relevance?
Yeah,
So you think that plays in there? Because if you look at something like the Beatles, right? The Beatles are pretty much only in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for what they did from 1964, 63, but 64 to 69, a 5-year span, right? That's their entire career is pretty much in that 5-6 years. So Stuart Sutcliffe and Pete Best don't get nominated. They don't get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because they left the band before they were culturally impactful. I would almost argue that at least one of the two of them, Pete Best or Stuart Sutcliffe, actually probably more so Stuart Sutcliffe, should have been nominated along with them because he is the one that gave them like their visual style.
Right.
And really helped push that thing, and then they kind of went and Ringo joined, and they went with the Mop Top with Ringo and everything. But he was the one that kind of helped make them cool.
Ringo's the most important member of that band.
If Ringo doesn't join the band the day that they're signing the record label, you can make all the jokes you want that Ringo is just happy to be making a paycheck, and he was. But he changed that band up for
Ringo's
for
the best
better.
Beatle.
Yeah.
I'm putting it down there right now.
I don't agree with that. But I agree that he is a overrated
Paul has
Beatle.
the best songs.
Paul is the
but
best
Ringo
Beatle.
is the most... His fucking last name is Starr.
Yep.
He's the star.
Yep.
He is the guy that held the fucking band together.
And he was already an established person when he joined. He was the guy that they brought in. They're like, hey, can we get you in here to kind of tie this all together so we don't have to worry about that other guy?
He's so cool.
And he's still
I'd rather
just
hang out with
quietly
Ringo than
being
you two.
alive. He's just quietly me and Justin combined versus me too. I'd rather hang out with Ringo with me not. I'd rather you hang out with Ringo than you hang out with me. For if you're I get to hang out with Ringo tomorrow, but I can't see you for a year, I'll be like, talk to in a year, man. Let me know how everything went. Can you get Ringo to sign some things for me? One of them will be a Beatle goose, and he won't understand what that is, but we'll get to that at some point. So do you think that there's any argument for somebody that played in the later stages of a band being nominated alongside, or do you think you have to be...
a band has to be 25 years old to be nominated. Yeah. So if you haven't been in the band...
For about at least that long ago.
Yeah, then I don't think it probably counts.
See, so this brings me to something that we were discussing, earlier, Justin and I. We were saying Weezer. If you look at Weezer has one bass player for the first two albums, right. Matt Sharp. And then, I believe it's Matt Sharp. And and then the second bass player came in who was Rivers' roommate at Harvard that convinced him to start the band up again. So then he became the bass player for the Green album, and I think some of Maladroit, and I think that's around the time he disappeared. And then Scott, he vanished on the band and was found months later, living at his mom's house or something just kind of went AWOL. And he had
crazy.
He had some
issues. Man, I was in Weezer for a while, but I just up and left.
But without him, the band never comes back, right? True, he doesn't sit there and convince, Rivers, hey, you should start making music again.
Who's the current bass player?
And the current bass player is Scott Schreiber, I believe is how you pronounce his name, or Schreiber, something along those lines. But he has been their bass player since 2003. So he has now been the bass player for 2/3 of their career for 18 years as opposed to 4 years and 4 years from other people. So does rough. Weezer get nominated?
You put the new guy in.
You put the new guy in and the other two, because the other two wrote Blue Album, Pinkerton, Green Album, Maladroit with you. And those would be the big four if you're going to pick a big four of their
it's not Hurley.
Purists. But then you get to what we were saying. If you met a kid, if you were working at a restaurant and there was a busboy, he's 17 years old, and you went, hey, what kind of music you listen to? And he goes, Weezer. You can guarantee it that kid probably looks at Beverly Hills as a classic.
Yes.
Because it happened when he was 6 years old. Time has passed. It is a classic now.
Yeah, but most of the if you're listening to that, that's where they're stopping. They're not going back and listening.
If they don't go back and listen to it. So there's a whole generation of kids. There's a whole generation now that only knows them.
If Green Day ever gets in, do they put the fourth guy in there with him?
The fourth guy, he's been there for so long.
What his fucking name is.
Not Pat Smear is what I call him, and not Pat Smear. That's who he is. And and with Green Day, would you put the original drummer in, because he is the original drummer on a lot of tracks?
Yeah, but not on Dookie.
Not on Dookie, but Kerplunk and all of that.
Everything before Dookie, hot take here, is shit.
It's punk shit.
Also,
punk shit. Yeah. Everything after Nimrod is pretty much...
Dookie, Nimrod, Warning, the only three Day
I do like
albums.
Warning. Yeah, everything up to the international super hits. You need the international. That's like the best mark in the sand.
Yeah.
You don't need
Although
to go past
every
this.
once in a while, because
You throw on Jesus of Suburbia and slowly jerk off to yourself.
They'll put a fucking song from that album
Yeah.
like on the radio, and I'll listen to it, like,
That ain't bad.
you know, that's why this was so big, because this is a very well written,
Oh, very
well
well-written.
produced. Like,
Yeah.
they had a vision, and they achieved the vision they had, and it fucking sold.
Yeah.
It was
Shit,
popular. you
were
know?
they
wrote a
responsible for
rock
writing?
opera.
Were they responsible for doing the fucking Broadway play?
Yep, that's
Like
that,
they
as
wrote
far
it?
as I remember watching like behind the scenes stuff about that. They wrote the album with the anticipation to turn it into a play. So knowing that that's what they were doing, I'll give you guys
I would
credit.
go see that. I'm not gonna lie. I
But
would go
remembering
see
back
the
to
play.
the initial run of Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up 5 years ago, when I listened to the entire discography of Green Day and we sat down and discussed it,
right.
it's a hot shit fucking album. It is like in a bad way. It's not a good, like, it's just boring.
Yeah.
If you listen to it in order, if you get there naturally and you listen to everything Green Day had up until that point, and then you put that on, you kind of go, all right, like, what the hell? But then you listen to the next, like, 15 years following, you go, yeah, you don't do the next 15 years without this.
Right.
So as much as it was pissing off people in my generation, our generation, and people that had liked them beforehand, they basically turned and went, we're going to make the wise business move here and open ourselves up to a whole new generation by
Even
doing
a
a
bigger
different
question.
black and red ties and all that shit
When
type.
Blink-182 gets nominated.
Does Matt Skiba go in?
No!
No, he doesn't. No.
Hell no.
No, because he did
Hell
that one
no,
song,
dude.
what, California or whatever?
And let's face it, all
yeah.
that shit just sounds like
Yeah.
a trio.
Yeah, now does the original drummer go in from that? Because he is on.
No.
He is
No,
on.
honestly, I'm okay with they put fucking Blink-182 in.
They deserve to be in there.
Just fucking
Mark, Tom, Travis.
Mark and Tom. No, Mark and Travis.
Mark and Travis, no Tom.
Fuck Tom.
Fuck Tom.
He's off with the aliens.
Yeah,
He
you're right. He doesn't need it.
He doesn't need the
He doesn't
earthly
need it.
pleasures
He
of the
really
Don't they have
Rock and Roll
a
of
new
Fame.
Angels and Airwaves coming out? I think
I've
there
heard
is.
rumors about that for a while, so
there's
I
a
never
new
know how
Angels
He's too busy
real
with
it's going to
the-
be.
with the aliens.
In between finding data, he needs to write new songs. You know?
He should. He should. All right. Well, speaking of writing new songs, we have tonight a two-parter for ourselves, and I believe we're just going to play them back to back, right?
Yep.
Just let it
Yeah,
flow
we're
as
just
it
gonna
should.
start with the interlude, and then
We are finishing up our album Survey. This is the final installment of Survey. We are also, in turn, kind of wrapping up the scriptures for the religion that we have been creating here. So, Zach, if you could give everybody kind of an overarching story of what we've been doing, where we are now, what this song is about, but like give them a story from the beginning and a brief synopsis.
Give it to the
What
people,
is
you know?
Survey? What is Survey all about? And what is this song specifically about?
Well, what it's all about is a cycle of realization.
Yeah.
Survey is born the heir to a destroyed civilization, and he has to do what he has to do to fix that.
Yeah.
It includes crossing the desert, fighting dragons, meeting the great serpent, and a city inhabited by talking snakes.
Yes.
Uh,
Which, just to give everybody, I don't think we've said this on air, all of this stems from you making a joke about Circuit City, right? Like you said Circuit City,
Serpent
and then you
City
went
was-
Serpent City.
yes.
And so that is kind of where this whole idea was, that there is no Circuit
That
City
and,
anymore.
and Sleeve.
Sleeve, yes.
Steve, we kept telling Steve wants to have a kid. He has a daughter named Stevie.
Yes.
He keeps saying,
Good friend
"Yeah,
of
I'm
yours."
gonna have a son. I'm gonna name him Steve Jr." And that's Steve. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do it.
So then
Obviously, we name him Meg Jr.
someone was drunk and said, like, slurred Steve, and I was like, Sleeve. You should name your kid Sleeve.
Yeah. So then Sleeve
And
kind
then
of.
I had that in my head, like, oh, I want a character named Sleeve. And then Circuit City turned into Serpent City, and Sleeve
Turned into Survey. All right. So in this installment, the first the interlude is another interloper. It is
Yeah.
another. This is a
woodworm.
A woodworm, and he has to battle the woodworm and make it through the vast forest where the vast desert once sat. And now in this installment, which is called the inability to cope.
Yep.
He arrives from that ordeal, and he arrives back in Arkanar, and he is so happy to see everything is flourishing. There are giant tall buildings, everything's green and blue, there are colors, things are thriving and back to life, and he basically exclaims, I did it, I've saved you, your king has saved you. And everybody looks at him in his tattered clothes
psychopath.
like he's a fucking nut job, and they're like, who are you?
He's like the homeless guy.
What are you?
Standing in the
Who's
street.
like, the end is nigh.
Yeah.
He basically
I
looks
did
that
it!
person.
I saved the world!
Yeah.
Like, sure you did, buddy.
And so he looks like a crazy person, and then he realizes, comes to some solace in it, that he did what he had to do, what he set out to do. Something that his wise man Harkness might not have known was the end for him. But he went, and he, in the Serpent City, more or less sacrifices his time to the to the land so it can regrow and rebuild and become a prosperous future. And he also then has the ability, is it more in your eyes that he has the ability to see these things and no one can see him? Or because at certain points of reading it, it seemed like maybe he was kind of like a ghostly image of sorts. It's up for interpretation.
Although a lot of this is open-ended on purpose.
Oh yeah,
It's like
we don't have a lot of time to close
so
ends.
in Survey's perspective, the Great Serpent, he had to sacrifice his life
Yeah.
to save the world.
Yes.
And so the Great Serpent, as a gift to him, sacrificed his life in order for Survey to actually, before he dies, witness that it happened.
It's
Because
kind of
if
like
you
reverse
asked me for
Moses
something-
actually seeing the
Yeah,
promised
like
land.
if you
yeah.
ask me for something and say, I'll give that, like, you're like, I need you to, I don't know, do whatever.
Yeah.
Like, all right, but I have to kill you.
Yeah.
But you get to see what I promised you
Yeah.
before you die.
Basically, if I'm like, I want to make sure that my wife and children get home safely,
Yeah,
and you're
but
like,
like, oh, yeah,
okay,
sure,
yeah,
yeah.
I got to take your life in exchange for their lives, but you get to know and
But
have the
in Survey's
comfort.
sacrifice, the Great Serpent also sacrificed his life.
Yeah.
Because if you remember at the beginning of the last song is the Great Serpent's funeral.
Yes, sir.
Right.
The question comes now that I didn't. Well, we'll save it.
We'll save it. All right, we'll save any further information till
But
maybe after the song or
in
much after the
the
song.
order of what happens.
Yeah.
Survey realizes what happens
Yep.
and that he is unable to cope and must die.
Yep.
Yep.
The only possible course of action is to throw himself off the tallest building into the deepest river.
And the other option would be just to be a crazy person living in the city that he saved, and everyone thinks he's crazy
It's
for
not
forever.
even an option. Once he realizes
What he did,
what happened,
and what happened,
it's not. There's no option. It is.
he needs to just
He
end
has
his time.
to.
He's fulfilled his destiny. He has let Arkanar thrive, and now he can die in peace, basically. So what you're going to be hearing tonight are, again, two songs. The first one is, what is the name of the first one here?
Interloper Woodworm.
Interloper Woodworm. And then, again, the inability to cope.
If it sounds like 14 songs,
Yep. It pretty much is 14 songs. So we're gonna. How long is the Interloper? That one. That was like
2 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So altogether, you guys are looking for about 12 minutes worth of music right here. So enjoy. This is the end of the album Survey. We're gonna jump right into it, play them back to back for you guys, and then we'll reconvene afterwards and talk about what's next in line for this world and for us, Brunch, and potentially what we're doing musically next.
yeah.
Enjoy.
train survey emerges, the interloper slain from the vast woods, a clearing of light, a miracle it stood, the young king's pride. Oh, what sights to be seen, Arcanar, Connor redeemed. Oh, what sights to be seen, Arcanar, Connor redeemed. The once crumbling land he left long ago, returned to form to stand in a way he could not know. The elder serpent held true, his home, his people renewed. Survey, elated by the view, his people unsure as to who, as to who, as to your king has returned. My people, our future secure. arcing on anew. Survey must give his life. For his people, for his land, one life given to save a man. For the future, he gave his time into the river, sacrifice for his people, for his land. One life given to save a man. For the future, he gave his time into the river, sacrifice for his people, for his land. One life given to save a man. For the future, he gave his time into the river, sacrifice.
All right, guys, there you have it. That is the conclusion to Survey.
Yeah.
That's this. This is what happens when Zach decides that we're gonna write a religion. Some weird fucking songs. Now, I want to point out again that the beginning of this started with you telling me to listen to Loveless.
Yeah.
And to focus on kind of the shoegaze feel. And you have said that we encompassed what you wanted to encompass, and then it just kind of grew from there.
Yep.
And just kept going. I am thoroughly excited to listen to this album from start to finish, which is something that I have not even... I've listened to the first 3 tracks like in order, but I've not listened to after that. So we'll be getting all of the songs up on YouTube, and soon we'll release them all on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music from, as we have all of our other music being dropped on there right now, which I don't think we maybe we mentioned that earlier.
I think we talked about it last week.
We did talk about it last week. Yeah, you can check all of our music that is now out and streaming. Zach, is there anywhere, not necessarily on this storyline, because we'll get back to this storyline at some point. We always return to the weird history of the history of the history of the history of the history of, with things that we've already recorded. But do you have any ideas of where we are going, Brunch, where Brunch is going next in our music endeavor? We've got 5 episodes left in season 5. Do you want to give a tease to anything, any idea, any music, anything that you want to throw out there to people of what we are working towards, or do you want to... Cheese. It's a good way to put it. Cheese. So just think cheese.
We're going to do an
back.
album about... Well, the album's called Cheddar.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Chedda. Cheddar.
Cheddar.
Well, our main influences on this is coming up is going to be funk,
Yeah, hell yeah.
And mid-aughts alternative rock.
All
Nickelback.
right. All right.
All right.
So we're mixing two of everybody's favorite genres. Whether you admit it or not, funk is one of the top selling genres.
I love funk. I'm a big
And
funk fan.
yeah, if you like Funkadelics, anything like that, we're gonna be pulling from stuff along those lines.
Funkleback, dude.
And then
Funkleback.
Funkleback, new band. All right. And it's kind of hard to. You can shit on Nickelback all you want. The motherfuckers write hits, and whether they're
They
dumb
wrote
hits, but
hits.
they wrote hits. Either way. So that is what's in store.
Although
and
you know
coming
it's
up
not
next.
going to sound like
No, it's not.
funk
It's us.
or Nickelback.
It's
It's
brunch.
going to sound like us.
It's going to be a metal country song every week
but
somehow.
that's what I'm thinking about.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, we will be back next week. We are not going to be taking a break in between just because with the weather being very unpredictable, we're just going to trudge through to the end of season 5 here. However it happens, whether we get another snowstorm every week for the next 3 weeks and it winds up taking us 6-7 more weeks to get through the season, we will be kind of just pushing through. And there are things on the horizon for not only brunch with season 5, but what we're going to be doing in season 6, and some things that I've not even yet spoken to Zachary about. We'll probably just talk about it after the show. But some changes
I
are on the
fired?
horizon. You're fired.
Shit, guys.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Do you want to know, because now that most of our music, like 90% of our music
Yeah.
is up, it if you go to the page on iTunes, it gives you the top tracks. Do you want to know what the
Ooh,
top
I kinda
20?
do.
I can go through all of them, but
like,
Christmas is last. Nobody's really
listening to Christmas right now. That makes sense.
But that may change.
Are you going by album or by
It just gives me
single?
the top songs.
All right, so what
Like
do
when
we?
you go on the page.
Well, give us the top 5. All right, the
top 5 is It Helps.
all right. Good
That's
song.
number 1.
All right.
Rimsk 2.
All right.
Pull Me Back 3.
Weird.
2024.
Okay.
Tale from Eucora 5.
Weird. So 3 songs off of 1 EP.
3 real metal songs.
3 very metal screamo. That was us getting into that fun fall feeling.
Yep.
2020 makes sense. It makes sense that people will be looking for something along those lines. But Tale from Eucora, that hits me in a
Well,
special
it
place.
gets
I love
it
that
definitely
that's
gets
on there.
weird here.
Yeah.
Then it goes to Striations in the Paint,
Okay. Striations in the Paint. Yeah,
Bedroom Rodeo,
yeah. Good song.
Living Out as Hell,
Okay.
Done Pretending.
Uh-huh.
I'm Not Okay with This.
Ooh.
Lesser,
Really? That's the one out of all of them. I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah.
But maybe because it's track number 1 on that album.
Maybe.
Who knows? Yeah.
Lesser Heresies.
Okay.
Papa Left.
Uh-huh.
Flu's Goose.
Flu Schools.
Saw Day.
Saw Day.
Sod.
Saw Day.
Saw Day.
Saw Day.
Soul Seeker.
Uh-huh.
It's Coming.
Okay.
All Saints. Ness.
Now,
Sure.
uh-huh.
And Another Tale from Eucora. That's the top 20.
That's the top 20. Well, I like the mixture in there. But I also like that the number 1 song, It Helps, just makes sense that that's the one, I think, as far as the theme, if you remember what the theme of that song is.
Right.
It makes sense to me that that's where our fan base is going to lead to. People that like screamo metal that don't mind eating paper once in a while.
Yep.
Because that's what that song's all about. Spoiler alerts. Well, yeah, guys, thank you to everybody that is tuning in here live and in the future and the past and everything. But thank you so much to everybody that's listening to our music on all of the platforms. Again, we're out on Apple Music / iTunes. We're out on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube, although they lump everything that ever said brunch into one thing, and we just can't do anything about it. It's like 7 bands that have some word.
I mean, if you're listening to us, you're already on our YouTube.
You're on our YouTube, so you're finding it pretty easy.
I
But
mean, we
we're
have
gonna
4
be
steady listeners on Spotify.
Hell
7
yeah.
streams and 3 followers. So
Wow.
thank you very much.
Hell yeah, guys. And that's just it with doing the very minimal promoting. So I'm glad that somebody's out there listening, and hopefully we will grow. If you like the music, share it to your friends. If you found a song that you like, tell us about it.
Yep.
Tell us why it related to you, why it hit for you, why you keep going back to that song. We definitely want to hear
Tell us why
back
you
from
hated
you.
a song.
And if you hate a song or a whole genre or a whole album or all of us
Or
just
if you
in general,
hate us, just tell us why.
just tell us why. We're always down.
We're
You can
not gonna
send
change.
all of your complaints to 123justinsuckspa.com. You write that on an envelope. You put it in the mail.
Yep.
You send it. And proof, last 2-3 weeks ago, they get here. We did get one.
we did
get one. It might have been an invite to a wedding, but we did get one. And I might already be mandated to be at that wedding, but we did get one. All right. But yeah, I just want to say another shout out to Billy Liar. Go check out, again, BillyLiarMusic.com. You can find all of his merchandise at stupidradmerch.com/Billy Liar. Go check out his music, and hopefully when the world opens back up, we will be having him. Opens back up. We'll be having him on this side of the pond and in a basement where we can do with him as we please. It's going to get real creepy and weird in that basement. Billy, I ain't lying. You're going to have a good time.
You finna get fucked by a fat man?
You ever have your feet fucked by a fat man? You gonna. As always, go check out our friendly podcasts, Sean and Dave Make Music. You can also check out their other podcast that is also called Not Movies. If I say all of those words in between, it doesn't sound like one podcast.
Like that, yeah.
Go check out But What Do We Know with Anna and Marissa, where we do the theme music for them. Huge shout out to those ladies. Always fucking crushing it with all the true crime and the just the fun weirdness. Always love what they're doing. And our Brother Sister Love podcast, Let Me Ask You a Question, brought to you by Moot.tv, along with us every Monday, the Moot Monday drop. And go check out the Derek D. Dozen and White Wasabi as well. I don't know. I think this is a great way to wrap up this album. Again, very excited to hear it all in its entirety. And we will be back next week again with another episode. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't, but we'll be making music about cheese, and that's one thing that you know. So, as always, a big thank you to Mr. Justin Olimpado for putting this all together, getting everything out for you guys. And a big thank you to Mr. Zachary.
I have pants, but they're full of shit.
Stormin. You said that earlier, too. Just going to say, you did say that earlier.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
yes, I have pants.
Somebody check this man's pants.
Someone check this guy's pants. You can't carry on that shit. That's a personal item. That can't be a carry-on. It's got to be in your pants, sir. And you put them in your pants. And they're full of shit now. All right, guys. For Kyle Mocha Won't Shut Up, I am Kyle Mocha. We will see you guys next week for episode 21 of season 5. In the meantime, go check out Billy Liar. Our band next week is going to be called, but it's going to be The Marks, M-A-R-X. Also from Scotland. We're doing a couple bands from Scotland. The week after that, it's from Northern Ireland. We're really raking in Northern and British Isles here. All right, guys. So again, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, fuck you. Fuck the fans. Jeff Gordon.
Moot.tv.
There's nothing more egomaniacal than singing the theme music for your own show. Who am I? Kelsey Grammer. If I could only drink like him. We're gonna write a new one every week. Some will be solid, some will be weak. We're gonna write a new one every week.